Cable access television was created out of the free speech movement in the 60s and 70s and is defined by federal law to include public, educational, and government content known as PEG access. Under the Federal Cable Communications Act of 1984, the government requires cable operators to provide funding and channels for local, non-commercial television, primarily because they are utilizing the public right-of-way. PEG access television is now often referred to as community media. GNAT is the community media center for the North Shire and the Mountains region of southern Vermont. Here you can learn the essentials of video production and find the tools and knowledge you need to produce television and video for your community.
This is Alex. Alex wants to create a talk show about 80s rock music, but he has no equipment and no experience with video production.
Yeah, Alex doesn't really know what he's doing.
So Alex heads over to GNAT, looking for some help in getting the tools to produce his show.
Alex will find everything he needs at GNAT: cameras and mics, a full studio, and plenty of editing stations.
But how does Alex know that he's allowed to use GNAT's facilities?
GNAT provides everyone who lives or works in its service territory with access to its equipment and training programs.
Alex lives in Winhall, so he's good to go.
Almost. Alex still doesn't know what he's doing.
But the GNAT staff can help him. Here, let me show you. Meet Sarah. Sarah has always wanted to record her own music video.
But like Alex, she doesn't really know how to produce videos.
Since Alex and Sarah have no production experience, they are required to take an initial instruction course for a nominal fee before they can use the equipment or facilities. GNAT offers a wide range of workshops in everything from studio, field, and audio production to editing and animation.
So they're going to need a little help getting started.
But then Alex and Sarah can get on the way to producing their videos.
Now that Sarah knows what she's doing, she can use GNAT's equipment at no charge to film her video.
But Sarah, you can't just take equipment and leave like that. You have to reserve cameras and other equipment about a week in advance, sign everything out with a staff member, and check all the equipment for any defects or problems before you leave GNAT.
Also, Sarah dear, since you're under 18, you need a consent form from a parent or legal guardian before you can use any equipment.
Now, among other equipment, Sarah can sign out cameras, headsets, microphones, batteries, and SD cards to store her footage.
As long as she puts down a deposit before taking out any SD cards, so she'll be careful not to lose them.
Yes, Sarah will have to be very careful to treat all the checked out equipment properly, because she is solely responsible for any loss or damage of the equipment that she signs out. She can't leave the equipment in a car overnight or in the heat for long periods of time.
Naturally, stuff happens, so if anything does get broken or damaged, Sarah should report the problem as soon as she gets the equipment back to GNAT.
But if Sarah follows the rules and procedures about care and use of the equipment, she won't have any trouble. Meanwhile, Alex is ready to use GNAT's studio to produce his talk show.
But he can't just barge in and use the studio whenever he wants.
No, he'll have to schedule studio time up to 2 weeks in advance, and also prove that he has sufficient technical ability and a qualified crew to help him produce his show. Whoa, now that won't work. There's a code of conduct for using the GNAT facilities.
It's pretty simple. Show up sober, clean up after yourself, and return your equipment on time.
So now that Alex has all of the tools and knowledge he needs to produce his talk show at GNAT, he can begin filming.
Here at GNAT, we let almost anything you make on the air, except for libelous, indecent, or commercial content.
Most importantly, Alex and Sarah must have all of the rights to the content in their video. This means getting music and anything they use from royalty and copyright-free websites or obtaining the proper licenses. They also have to remember to keep their content non-commercial. They must not overly promote materials, aim to call people to action, or make qualitative or comparative claims.
GNAT is here to produce entertainment, information, and education, not advertisements. This disclaimer must be included at the beginning of all independently produced programs.
In addition, any explicit material must start with a disclaimer that warns the audience and will only be cablecast after 11 p.m.
Alright, now Sarah has all of the footage that she needs for her music video and she's ready to edit.
Just like Alex had to reserve time in the GNAT studio, Sarah has to schedule her time in the editing room with a staff member beforehand so that she can reserve a computer to use, as well as scheduling ahead of time if she needs help from a staff member while she's editing.
Generally, whatever you need at GNAT, just make sure to ask for it ahead of time.
While editing, it is best for Sarah to store her original footage on her own external hard drive.
She can keep material on the GNAT computers while she is editing, but GNAT cannot be responsible for the loss of any footage. So what if Alex finds out that he won't be able to make it to his edit time tomorrow?
He should contact GNAT 24 hours ahead of the scheduled time to cancel his reservation. If he doesn't notify GNAT and doesn't show up within an hour of his scheduled time, GNAT will let someone else use his computer. Sarah has her music video produced, edited, and ready to go on the air tonight.
And why shouldn't it? It could just be one of the greatest music videos ever made.
Well, Sarah, you're going to have to wait a second. You must first fill out a cablecast form and submit it to the programming department. It will be cataloged and scheduled for airtime. GNAT will make every effort to promote Sarah's content.
But it will be up to Sarah as an independent producer to promote her own work.
Don't forget to tag GNAT on any social media posts. Before Sarah and Alex's videos can be cablecast, GNAT will need to review them to ensure they meet the minimum technical requirements for cablecasts.
And if Alex wants to turn his episode into a series, he should work with the program coordinator to find a time slot that works.
GNAT is volunteer-produced, non-commercial television.
So Alex, don't plan on being paid for producing a program or to make any profits from the finished product.
If Alex does end up profiting from the material produced with the help of GNAT, the station will be entitled to 15% of that income. If he's not sure about anything related to underwriting, grants, or profit making, he should check the policy and procedures manual first.
Before he does anything he'll regret.
To be safe, Alex should also learn what rights he has and what rights GNAT has over the content that he has produced.
Although Alex owns the material that he produced, GNAT has the right to cablecast it in perpetuity, and may also duplicate and distribute Alex's content via social media and other platforms, including the Community Media Exchange. Alex also has to identify himself as a GNAT volunteer and not as GNAT staff.
So following in Alex and Sarah's footsteps, being familiar with all of our policies and procedures, you will have no trouble in producing an exceptional TV show, music video, or whatever else you can think of here at Greater Northshire Access Television.